Hi, my name is Dave Mercer with the IDT Photo, and I'm the photo coach. Tonight, we're going to give you some tips about fireworks photography. The first tip I have for you is find a good location. What I think is a good location is in the back of the field so that you have a wide angle of view. Sometimes fireworks goes off on the right and then on the left and then right in the center. If you're able to get that, that is awesome because you'll be able to use a full range of view, and you need to be back away from where the fireworks are taken off. I also look for something that's elevated so that if it's possible, I can take photos over the top of the people in front of me. Now you always want to use a tripod. Since you're going to be taking pictures at a long exposure, the tripod is a must so that you don't get the camera shake. Now to ensure that you don't get camera shake, there's a couple things that you can do. First of all, you could use a wired remote like this one here, a wireless remote, then also the camera has a timer inside of it that usually runs anywhere from 2 to 10 seconds. Now I prefer the cabled remote like this here. The main reason is because it has a lockdown button. With this button, I'm able to decide how long I want to keep the shutter open. I could keep it open for a minute, 30 seconds, I get to decide. There's a couple controls on your camera that you'd want to turn on or off. The first one I like to talk about is image stabilization. Image stabilization is actually designed for you to be hand holding your camera to help prevent camera shake. When you put it on a tripod, it actually confuses it and it makes the pictures a little bit fuzzy. So you want to turn that off anytime that you use a tripod. Another control to turn off is the autofocus. When you are taking pictures of fireworks, the fireworks shoot up into the sky, there's movement, it goes dark, it gets bright, so your autofocus is constantly trying to find something to focus on. So the way I set up my focus is when I get to the location, I find where they're going to shoot the fireworks off. Then I find a landmark close to that area and focus in on that. I turn my autofocus off, and then after the first couple fireworks, I fine tune the focus in so that you get a nice sharp focus. A control that you do want to turn on is long exposure noise reduction. Now, even though that you're using a low ISO, you're still taking a picture at a long exposure and you'll probably get some noise in that picture. So inside the camera, in the menus, there will be a control that will turn on the long exposure noise reduction. Even though you're shooting at night in a dark situation, you still want to use the lowest ISO possible so that you can print up nice pictures later. Plus, you're going to have the camera on a tripod, so you don't have to worry about camera shake. The ISOs that I like to use is 50, 100, or maybe even 200, but that's about as high as I want to go. A good area to start with aperture is around f8. So you can increase to f11, f14. It all depends on if you're seeing that your fireworks are not as sharp as you would like them to be. You want to go for that wide depth of field. So start with f8. If it doesn't seem to be doing the trick for you, go up to f11, f14. You know, great thing with digital photography, we're able to look at the LCD screen and make changes according to that. The color balance of fireworks is close to daylight. So to get the perfect white balance in camera, you'd want to use the daylight white balance. You'll want to use the largest file size that you have available to you on your camera. That could be a large JPEG or a large RAW file. The reason that you want to use a large file is that you'll be taking the photos at a wide angle of view, and then later on you'll want to crop that down to right around that fireworks. When you do that, you'll lose image quality, so therefore it'll be harder for you to print up pictures later. So the larger the file that you have now, the easier it is for you to print that photo later after you've cropped it down. This is how I photograph fireworks. First of all, I put the camera's program mode to bulb. Bulb gives me the opportunity to decide how long I want to keep the shutter open. Now, I decide how long to keep the shutter open by using my wireless remote. The wireless remote has a lockdown for the shutter release. I can keep the shutter open for as long as I want. Sometimes while photographing fireworks, I'll keep the shutter closed for 3 minutes at a time. Now, the way I do that is, let's say a firework starts to take off. I hit the shutter release button, lock it down. I wait for the fireworks to go up into the sky, explode, fade, then it goes dark, and then I take my hat off and place it in front of the lens. Now, I don't want to touch the lens. I want to be careful to not get any type of camera shake, but I do want to stop any light from entering the lens. So then I hear that the fireworks is starting to take off again. Before it explodes, I pull my hat away, put it back on my head, wait for that firework to fade, and then I'll release the shutter release. Now, sometimes fireworks will shoot off one over to the right, one to the left, and one up to the center. That's a really good situation to be in because you get 3 fireworks in one exposure. But the fireworks sometimes all shoot up from one location, all up in one right after the other. In that situation, at max I will shoot 2 fireworks at one time because it starts to get too overexposed in your film and it starts to look muddy. So once again, my name is Dave Mercer with the IDT Photo, and I'm the photo coach. So if you have any questions, you can contact us at our website, idtphoto.com, or you can even contact us through our Facebook page. And don't forget to like and share.